I'm so excited because this is another day that the Lord has made. I'm rejoicing and I'm glad about it. I know I'm not the only one. There are those of you who've tuned in to this 15 minutes of daily inspiration, and I know that you are excited, you are overwhelmed, and you are rejoicing as a result of this. I'm your pastor of internet and innovation, Vance Ross, and I'm always excited to come into your space, come into your environment, and encourage you with these moments of daily inspiration. Our pastor, Dr. Jamal-Harrison Bryant, and our leadership team here at New Birth Missionary Baptist Church has been focused on making sure that we're not just giving you a Sunday morning experience, but we're with you every day of the week during this quarantine. And we're not going to stop. We have a P. Diddy mindset. We're going to keep going. We can't stop. We won't stop because we know that God has given us a mandate to impact the lives of not just our local community, not just our city, not just our state, but we take God global. So do me a favor, stop right now, tag a few people, share this message, and more importantly, this is a great opportunity to start a watch party. Why? Because you have people that you influence that have been impacted by what you share, what you say, and what you do. So start your watch party, share, and let's get right into it. As you know, I've been focused on giving you inspiration from a life, business, and purpose planning point of view. Life, business, and purpose planning. It is my job to keep inspiring you that way. And you've given me your feedback. You've shared so many great testimonies. You've sent me some great inbox messages and some great emails. And I'm glad that these moments are impacting you. So we're moving and taking it to another level because we're about 3 weeks deep in the quarantine. And I want to show you in the next succession of series that you'll hear me come with. I'm calling this Success in Separation. Success in separation, because there is going to be some success in not just quarantine, but what I call qualantine. It's the time where you get quality time to turn what God has purposed you to do into not just your platform, not just your process, but your purpose and ultimately your profit. And in this moment, you've got to have some success in separation. And I'm calling this segment in the Success in Separation series, I'm burying fear and doubt today. I'm burying fear and doubt today. You need to make that your proclamation. You need to make that your statement of accountability. I'm burying fear and doubt today. I came across this quote that doubt is the vanilla extract in the cake of faith. Doubt is the vanilla extract in the cake of faith. What does that mean, Vance? I have to be transparent with you. I grew up in a household where for the first 9 years of my life, there were nothing but women in my house. And one of the most impactful women, God rest her soul, was my great grandmother, Sally Mae Benton. She's from the country. She's from down south. She had big hands. She had big feet. She wore her half apron and her muumuu. And one of the things that she would always do, she would bake cakes about this time every day. And one of the best cakes that she was known for was her pound cake. And she'd take this little manila bowl. She'd take a couple of sticks of butter, some sugar, and some eggs. And it didn't start with a spoon. It started with her hands. There was no social distancing at this time. She was washing her hands and she'd start this process. And as she kept adding ingredients, one of the ingredients that would always blow me away was this little bottle in this red and white box called vanilla extract. Don't try to drink it on your own. I'm going to save you the death. It is not good. It is not tasty. It is nothing about God going on in this bottle. But in the right hands, with the right mix, in the right recipe, vanilla extract will help you turn what was a mediocre cake into an amazing cake. And the amazing moment about doubt, when it comes down to faith, is it has two opportunities in your life. It can propel you, or it can paralyze you. It can either propel you or it can paralyze you. And in the vanilla extract ingredient and substance in your cake of faith, you've got to determine what you're going to separate yourself from to have success. because the doubt of others can propel you beyond your fear. It can propel you beyond your circumstance. It can propel you even beyond your beliefs, or the doubt that you have for yourself can paralyze you. It can put you in a box. It can limit you. It can minimize you. And you've got to turn the doubt into the right moment in your life and in your success. So to make this thing work, I want you to have a Hebrews 11:1 perspective. In the NIV version, Hebrews 11:1 says, now faith, hear this, is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. It is confidence in what we hope for, and it's assurance about what we do not see. And because of this reality, I'm going to give you 5 basic tips to bury fear and doubt today. Use the hashtag, I'm burying fear today. I'm burying fear today. If you want to be successful, if you want to win, there are 5 things that you're going to be able to do to have success in separation and bury fear and doubt today. The number one thing you've got to be able to do is you've got to see yourself in the future while still in the present. You've got to see yourself in the future while still in the present. This is a moment of being able to allow your dreams to now serve as previews for a coming attraction. You've got to see who you're going to be even before you arrive there. You've got to allow the vision to be clear to you. You've got to see yourself in the business. You've got to see yourself on the 24th floor. You've got to see yourself paying your bills 3 months in advance. You've got to see yourself in a wealth standpoint. You've got to see yourself operating at God's highest level. You can't keep seeing yourself in the circumstance that you're in. Quarantine won't always be here. COVID virus won't be overtaking and paralyzing you. You say, Curvance, I'm broke. You are not broke. You are in between paychecks. You are in between come ups. You are not going to be here all the time. I'm sitting in a situation where my relationship is failing. You're not failing in your relationships. You're furthering yourself to meet your future. You've got to see yourself in the future even while you're in the present. So the first thing, see yourself in the future while still in the present. You're burying fear and doubt today. Number 2, you've got to embrace the uncomfortable moments as techniques for growth. You've got to embrace the uncomfortable moments as techniques for growth. Let me help you understand that comfort is the enemy to success. Comfort is coming to annihilate success, and you've got to stay uncomfortable. You got to realize that every time I win, I celebrate it, but I'm not comfortable being here. I'm not comfortable staying here. I'm not going to sit back on my laurels. I'm going to press. I'm going to win. I'm going to see myself moving forward, and I'm going to grow from my last successes. This is important because many of us don't realize that a lot of success comes from failure. And these moments of realizing that where I failed was a technique, it was a template for my growth, and my failure helped me to succeed. And I'm not comfortable with the win. I want to make sure that I'm conditioned for the next game. I'm conditioned for the next obstacle. I'm conditioned for the next opportunity. You have to embrace uncomfortable moments as techniques for growth. So number 1, see yourself in the future while still in the present. Number 2, embrace the uncomfortable moments as techniques for growth. Number 3, to burying fear and doubt today, allow your ears to see what your eyes hear. Allow your ears to see what your eyes hear. This was a moment where I ran into, I'm a movie buff, and fell in love with the movie Ray. And Jamie Foxx did such an amazing job of becoming and embodying Ray. And when he's getting ready to talk to Mary Ann, he's in a diner, in a restaurant, and he says, you are as beautiful. I could pick your voice out in your quartet group the way I could pick out the hummingbird outside the window. Realized that Ray is blind at this point. And she said, how did you see that hummingbird? You're blind. He said, I let my ears see what my eyes hear. And what this embraces, what this embodies, is that you've got to allow your senses to be doubled in these moments of separating fear so that you can have success. You've got to allow your ears to operate in a sense where your ears see the opportunity, that your ears see the potential, where your ears see everything that is getting ready to come into your life. It says that faith comes by hearing. I'm going back to it. Faith comes by hearing. Once you hear it, you can now have faith to see what is not in front of you. Your ears have to see what your eyes hear. When you see that this is an opportunity, you have to see that, God, you gave me one more blessing that was not in my repertoire before this. I see your will. I hear your words playing clearly to me. Your ears and your eyes will now do double duty because it's going to eliminate fear. You're going to get fear out of your way. You're going to cast down every negative imagination. You're going to walk by the faith and not just by sight. You have to now allow fear to be buried. Fourth thing you got to do is you've got to become more confident than your current cash flow. You've got to become more confident than your current cash flow. I got to tell you, business is not about what's in the bank. It's about what's in your plan. It's not always going to show up in a number. It's going to have to show up in your belief when you don't have the resources, when you don't have the revenue, when the account is in a negative, when you've got more month than you got money, when you feel like you can't go on because you can't finance it. You've got to become more confident. These are the moments where your plan meets God's provision. This is the moment where your plan meets God's provision. He's already gone before you. Hear me, those of you who are getting ready to be paralyzed because you don't have the resources, you don't have the economy, you don't have the circumstance. Let me help you understand some of the greatest success I've ever accomplished was when I was unemployed, when there was not enough money in the account. There was not what I needed to make this thing work. Some kind of way God stepped in. And he allowed the provision to be made. And I know I'm not the only one that is tuned in that knows that when you put your plan in place and you prayed about it, you worked out the purpose, you worked out the life plan, you worked out the business plan, some kind of way God showed up and sent you a check in the mail. He sent you people to be able to provide for you. He sent you opportunities that would allow you to have success. And you had to separate from your fear. Your fear will not manage your finances. Your fear will minimize your faith. But if you bury your fear, you can watch your finances blow your mind. And I'm testifying on behalf of the God that we serve that you can operate by burying fear today. The last point, and we're out of here. To be successful in separation and bury fear and doubt, live in the presence of life givers instead of life leeches. Live in the presence of life givers instead of life leeches. This will help you in this moment of separation. You got to get away from folks that's trying to drain you of all your blood, trying to drain you of all your energy. One of the biggest components of fear is that you have people who have no faith. You have to do this. And the biggest challenge is most of the people you've got to get rid of that are life leeches are family members and friends. And to be successful in this moment, you got to separate yourself from people who were okay with you where you were and don't fit where you're headed. You've got to get around some life givers. You got to get around some people who have the same mindset, who have the same perspective, who have the same level of faith, who have the same level of focus, who have the same level of finance. If you broke right now, get from around broke folk. Get around some folks that's got some money. If you have a little faith, get around folks who's got great faith. If you have a little plan, get around people who have great plan. You've got to bury the fear and the doubt today. And is there anybody in this space that can testify that if you bury your fear and doubt, success is on the way? This is where we are at New Birth. We're focused on not just giving you good information, not just giving you some time to shout, and we are all about that, but we want to make sure that you have revelation for your inspiration. And this is the moment where these 15 minutes of daily inspiration will change your lives. It's amazing. It's over. I got to get out of your way. I've enjoyed it. I hope you are excited about segment 1 of Success and Separation. I want to give you an opportunity to not just hear this information. Somebody was impacted and pricked in your heart and said, this is the kind of church I need to be connected to. And we want to be your church. Senior Pastor Jamal-Harrison Bryant wants to be your pastor. I want to be your pastor of internet and innovation. So if you want to not just be a friend and you want to be a family member, if you go to newbirth.org, that is newbirth.org, click the join button, and we have people ready to bring you into the family. On top of that, As a person who is a giver, I know you want to be a giver and want to sow into great ground. You want to invest in something that's going to reap a profit. And New Birth is that place. We're not just impacting the region. We're not just impacting the city. We're not just impacting the state. We're impacting the world. And we need your help. If you would text NBGIVE to 77977, you can give your tithes, offering, and other expressions of giving. We're going to keep coming. We're here all week long. Thank you so much for tuning in, for encouraging others, for sharing, for tweeting, for texting, for sending out a carrier pigeon, whatever way you got the message out. Thank you for being a part of the New Birth family. As always, I'm your pastor of internet and innovation, Kervance Ross. I love you. Wash your hands, stay safe, and bury fear and doubt today. Have a great week.